Good evening and welcome to the latest edition of our Coaching Network podcast. I am Football Scoops John Brice, joined tonight by SEC elite assistant coach, University of Tennessee running backs coach, Jerry Mack. Coach Mack, thanks for taking time to join us. It's been a few weeks in the works, and absolutely, I can say without doubt, worth the wait.
I appreciate it, John. Always good. Always a lot of fun to get on here and talk a little football.
Yeah, and let's talk football. Let's just dive in, and we'll work our way to what you're doing right now with Tennessee, because I'm not sure how much the country appreciates what you're doing with Tennessee. And I'm a Tennessee grad; those are my roots, so I pay extra close attention. You have one of the best rushing offenses in all of America, but you have one of the most fascinating football journeys in all of America. You're a Memphis native. You went to Arkansas State. You've been a head coach already at the HBCU level. If you could, please just take us through your football journey a little bit.
Man, it's quite a journey. I know my wife would not like to have as many moves as we've had, but it has been a lot of fun, to be honest with you, moving really all over the southeastern part of the United States. That's really where my roots are and everything. Like you said before, I played Arkansas State. Had a lot of fun there. That's where I met my wife. I had my first two kids there. Then moved on to Delta State University. Really take a lot of pride. We did a lot of great things over there at Delta State. Still have a lot of great friendships and relationships that I built that I still keep in contact with those people. And that's talking about almost 20 years. So very fortunate in those relationships that we were able to build. I was able to build over there. Then moved on, got my first HBCU experience going to Jackson State. Was able to work with a head coach by the name of Rick Comagee. Was able to win a championship as well in our second year there. It was a lot of fun working in that culture, in that environment, and also too just the fanfare, the passion that the fans of Jackson, Mississippi have for football. Really a unique experience, probably one of the best FCS experiences in the country, in my opinion. Got a chance to go to University of Central Arkansas and work with Clint Conk and Todd Cooley as the offensive coordinator. A lot of fun there. Very fortunate. The first year there, I was there, won a championship. It's kind of crazy story. The head coach there now, Nathan Brown, he was my graduate assistant. So,
And there's some great dudes on that staff now. They're doing good things again. Like the Bears are doing some good things again. Jamar Johnson is a wide receivers coach out there that I know. He's doing some great things. So championships seem to follow you. I didn't mean to cut you off because we're getting ready to go to the NCCU portion of it, but I did want to interject there because it's awesome to see UCA having some success again.
It is. I enjoy my time at Conway, and Dr. Brad T. He's just an awesome athletic director as well. But left there and got a chance to go call plays for my first time in my career at Arkansas Pine Bluff. I was the quarterback coach there and offensive coordinator. We broke several school records and then caught the eyes of Coach Larry Porter at the University of Memphis. So I got a chance to go back to my hometown and represent. Didn't work out quite like we wanted to work out, but it's kind of part of the business sometimes. It's a production-driven industry, and we didn't produce that year. But landed on my feet, was able to go work with Joey Jones in South Alabama, and man, had a really good time in Mobile, Alabama. Just loved the people, loved the food, loved everything about Mobile, Alabama, to be honest with you. But didn't want to leave, but the opportunity to be a head coach and go to North Carolina Central, with that opportunity to go build a program and establish a certain culture of a program and really just the relationships and develop young me. And I just thought I couldn't pass up an opportunity like that to build a program and a vision that I'd always wanted to be. Stayed there for about 4 years as well. And we had a lot of success. We won three out of the 4 years I was there. We won a conference championship. Was able to be coach of the year. 3 players that I coached just recently got inducted to the school's Hall of Fame. So very proud, very happy for those young people that we were able to make an impact and a difference in their lives.
You reference your success at North Carolina Central, but you also showcase your humility because you talk about the team accolades. I don't think anybody won more in their first 3 years as a head coach at NCCU than what you won in your first 3 years as a head coach at NCCU. So real quickly, if I may interject here, how did you so effectively hit the ground running as a head coach, and who shaped you into being ready?
Well, it's interesting. I've been very blessed in my career to really do a lot of different things. Not only coach running backs now, I've coached running backs in the past, I've coached quarterbacks, receivers, called plays. So I think being in that environment, being able to be in multiple different position rooms really helped. I think the second thing that really allowed a lot of success was being able to coach at so many different facets, from the Division II, where my grassroots are, to FCS football, to HBCU, to Division I, being able to see all those different aspects and all those different journeys. By the time I got to NCCU, I think I was the third youngest head coach in the country. I was about 32 years old,
Yeah.
and was able to just really go into that program, evaluate the pros and the cons. And I think a lot of times people spend a lot of time talking about what universities don't have. I got a lot of backlash from people saying, I don't know if you'll be able to win there. They don't have this, or they don't have that. And that didn't really matter, because at the end of the day, everything is about the people. I was able to bring in the school's first director of football operations. We brought a great staff in. We hired people that were serving as analysts, full-time video coordinators, just things infrastructure-wise that university had really never seen before, and was able to take that FBS kind of model, serving their time at University of Memphis and serving time at South Alabama, and bring it really to North Carolina Central. And, like all coaches, the person that was before me, he did some good things as well as far as laying a foundation, and I was able to take it to a certain level. And the guy now, Coach Oliver, Trey Oliver, he's having a lot of success as well. I actually plays tonight on television, but he was able to benefit from me, and I was able to benefit from the person before me, and that's kind of what it was about. But I do think the staff, another thing, was really big for me. Being able to set us, put together a group of men. They were all passionate about, building a program. They were all pretty much young in their career like I was. So we had a good young staff who was hungry and passionate about doing the right things, And any job that you take, John, it's all about the administration.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, our athletic director and our chancellor of that university, man, if it wasn't for them, I don't know how good we would have been, to be honest with you. They allowed me to implement some things that had never been done before. They supported me 120%. And I just can't say enough great things about my time in Durham, North Carolina.
Well, and to that end, I mean, you reference it there. You had a vision and you implemented that vision as a head coach, and you implemented some groundbreaking things as a head coach at NCCU, like the DFO position and like some of the analysts and scouting positions, and the depth that you filled in that program. That's why you're going to be a head coach again at an even larger level. If we could, and we'll circle back around to some of that, but let's continue with your journey, because after there, I believe it was Rice, and then now obviously at Tennessee.
Yeah, going to Rice was an opportunity to work with a great friend, Coach Mike Bloomberg. It's funny how the game works. You all know, you get a chance to work with people that you work with when you started your career. And I was Mike Bloomberg's graduate assistant at Delta State when he was the offensive coordinator. So, at that time, anybody knows anything about Division II football, when you're a graduate assistant in Division II, you're coaching a position. What I'm saying? There's not enough people to go around to just have GA duties. So you have GA duties on top of being a position coach. You may be working in a strength conditioning program. You're some of everything. And me and Mike Bloomberg, that's one of my best friends in this profession. And I got an opportunity to go with him and be the associate head coach, quarterback coach, offensive coordinator, a number of roles for his staff. And it was a sounding board more than anything for him. Just being a sounding board, because I had been a head coach for 4 years at that time. And, just some of the pitfalls and some of the things or ideas more than anything else that I may have, he allowed me to implement some of those things. Obviously, being able to go in there and learn the West Coast offense from him and what he had learned in the National Football League and from Coach David Shaw, just a wealth of knowledge in that program. We got a chance to put together a really good staff, a really strong staff, that really diverse more than anything else. And that was one of the things, like on the interview process, or we talked about putting together a really diverse staff more than anything. Just people from all different types of background, not just guys that had the NFL background, not just guys who were from Texas, people from all over the country, people with really diverse background, and that race, football acumen, everything. We wanted that staff to come in there and really hit the ground running and see what we could do. And I enjoyed my time at Rice University. We did some good things trying to build a program, and that takes a while. That like everybody knows, that's going to take some time. And I think when I left, it was in a better place than when we found it. And then I obviously got an opportunity to come over here to University of Tennessee and get back in my home state a little bit.
Yeah, and to your work at Rice, we're still seeing the fruits of some of that because you still got some guys on the roster there, and Rice coming off a season in which they sort of broke through last year under Coach Bloomgren, earned a bowl bid, and then earlier this year beat Houston in an absolutely monumental win for that program. And what I've tried to do some homework in preparing for this podcast, Jerry, again, been in the works for a couple of weeks as we visit here with Jerry Mack, one of the top assistants anywhere in college football, and a lead assistant running backs coach at the University of Tennessee. And in doing my homework, Jerry, I found out there's so much more to you than football. And you've had some unique relationships that have carried through your years in football, where you've still got guys that reach out to you, you've still got guys that you talk to on a regular basis. Would you mind to provide a little insight into that? And also let us know why those elements are so important to you.
Yeah, I've had an opportunity to do multiple internships in the National Football League. I do think trying to stay on the cutting edge, X's and O's, cutting edge of, what people are doing in this game as this game evolves. I think that's one of the biggest pitfalls that coaches do as they get older. They get kind of stuck in some of their ways because it worked, 5 years ago or whatever it may be, assuming it's going to continue to work. I still keep in contact with Coach Jim Caldwell. I look at him as a great mentor for me. As a great man, obviously, he has a wealth of knowledge. He knows a lot of different things, a lot of different people. He's just seen a lot of football more than anything else. And, I lean on him to get advice, to get all those different things. Coach Cutcliffe, Dave Cutcliffe, we had a great relationship in my time at Durham, North Carolina. We played those teams at Duke University. Coach beat up on us pretty good, but, after the season was over with, we get a chance to get on the phone with him. And we've just done a great job of cultivating our relationship over the years. Actually saw him, he was over here for our game last week against Texas A&M. His son Marcus works with the university as well in athletic administration. But those guys, I lean on guys like that for just knowledge more than anything else. Those guys have been head coaches at really the highest level of football, and they coach some of the greats of football. So always getting advice, always getting different ideas on how to do different things, how to attack different things from men like that are always good.
And you've remained a prominent figure in your hometown of Memphis. You're still somebody that, as I talk to prep coaches in that city, and certainly I don't talk to them as much as I used to when I was with Rivals in 247, but you're still a name that resonates in that city. Why has it been so important for you to, when you get an opportunity, pop back into Memphis and speak to a school, or just be visible and continue to uplift what is your hometown?
Yeah, I don't think anybody should ever forget where they came from. I take a lot of pride in being from Memphis. I take a lot of pride and a lot of respect for some of those coaches that helped me, help develop me throughout my journey. A lot of those guys are still in the system. Some of them retired. That's really important to me, to be honest with you, John. Like, my old alma mater, Whitehaven High School, it had produced a lot of not only good athletes, but administrators in the city and people that are working in corporate America. Like, just a lot of tradition at the school, a lot of great men and women that have came through the school. So I've always tried to get back into the city and just touch bases with some of those people that I known in the past, and just kind of catch up on them and see how they're doing.
Whitehaven, man, that's Rodney Salisbury territory. Stand up, Coach Sauls. That dude is an absolute legend.
He is. Salisbury first year coaching was my last year in high school. So,
really,
he was actually one of my coaches when I was coming out of high school as well. So that's telling our age a little bit.
We're not going to talk about that. We can talk about how much I miss Rendezvous and Central Barbecue's pork nachos. I don't know what you miss the most. Those are the two staples for me that I never get anymore, except at Christmas. Every year, one dude sends me a Rendezvous gift pack every year for Christmas, and he knows who he is. So shout out to him. But I don't get enough of it anymore.
That might be the same guy for both of us then.
It just might. Yeah, you're right. It just might be. Well, as we continue on this journey, you're now at the University of Tennessee. And when you say University of Tennessee and you say Josh Heupel, everybody thinks tempo, everybody thinks passing, everybody thinks this maniacal offense. Well, let me tell you right now, folks, Jerry Mack is the running backs coach of what essentially is the number one Power 5 rushing attack right now in all of college football. UCF is in that mix as well. I don't really consider UCF quite a Power 5 team yet. They're getting there. That's not a knock on UCF. They're still transitioning. It's their first year in the Big 12. You're an established SEC team coming off a week in which you beat a Texas A&M team absolutely littered with NFL prospects, and you did it on the ground. You ran for 232 yards, the most that Texas A&M has given up all year, one of the highest amounts that A&M has given up since Jimbo Fisher became head coach. So quite simply, how do you do it?
Well, I think first of all, it has nothing, very little to do with me out there running the ball for sure. It's all about like starting in the game plan in the first part of the week. As we get in here on Sunday, and we just kind of look at all the different things, all the different entities that how to attack a team. And Coach Glenn Ellerby, our offensive line coach, man, Coach does a heck of a job. And Coach Aves Abelin, like our tight end coach, like those guys do. We all collaborate and really try to make sure we put our kids in the best situation possible. This offense, those guys have been around this offense for years and years and years. I'm kind of the new kid on the block, just kind of coming in and just getting better and better within the offense. Our guys are playing extremely, extremely hard. Offensive line, our running backs, we have a three-headed monster right now at the running back position. Just extremely proud of the way these young men attack the week. And everything boils down to preparation at the end of the day. You got to have the right people in the building. And I think a lot of times in this profession, like the analysts and the graduate assistants, man, like people don't understand how much work those guys put into this game as well. They go unnoticed a little bit, but I can tell you right now, the guys, the young coaches that we got in this building right now, I think are elite. They're guys that I know are going to have their own room really sooner rather than later. And I think just putting together that plan, it has always started with the run game for this offense. Just quiet as it's kept. When you look at through the years of since we've been here in Tennessee, we've always kind of been in the top 20 in rushing and running the football. And now it's just one of those years. We're probably leaning a little bit more on the run game, but the passing game is right there as well. So offensively, we're just trying to always put the guys in the best situation possible.
You referenced something there that I find fascinating. You talk about it being the preparation, and we hear about that a lot where guys are like, well, you went on Saturday because of what you do Sunday through Friday, but you've been around some of the best in the business. Larry Porter, there's not a doubt in my mind, could and should be a head coach again. Mike Bloomgren, what he's doing is remarkable at a school that's not had a lot of success, your own success at NCCU. So what makes preparation elite and so effective at the University of Tennessee? And then how much does Josh Heupel empower you guys, and how much does that help?
Yeah, I think first of all, it starts with time management. At the end of the day, we all got the same time. So, you got to get in there. You can't waste a lot of time looking at things that you don't feel like are going to be important. You got to be able to decipher information quickly. You got to be able to figure out like how you're going to attack, what can you do personnel wise, how that all kind of fits you. Then you got to try to collaborate with the passing game, right? You got to sit in there and see what things kind of marry up. I like to use the term sameness and likeness. You're trying to make plays look the same across the board, trying to be diverse. There's that word again, trying to be diverse as much as possible in your plan and what you can do so you won't be so one-dimensional. Then you're always looking for matchups. Matchups are extremely huge in any offense, but especially this offense. You're looking at potentially, where those matchups exist and how you can create the advantage more than anything else. So I think that's really important, like when you look at the entire week, everybody has a plan. The first part of the week, you're going to go through your normal down and distance. Then the next, you're going to enter into like your red zone and short yardage situations. And then you got to find a way to make that come alive on the practice field. So, because you can only be out there for so long. So taking advantage of that practice time. The first time I came here, I said, man, we don't waste any time at practice. Like there is no time to have side conversations. You're giving a guy a high five and you're moving on to the next thing, and that's about it. We don't have a lot of wasted time going on.
So as you go through a season, I've got to think the cumulative benefit of not wasting time is when it really starts to reveal itself this time of the year. You've been not wasting time since August forward, and now you've squeezed in literally a few extra practices because of the way you guys approach the game.
We do, we do a really good job of our weekly schedule. Coach likes to make sure these guys are as fresh as possible, than anybody in the country. So, the way we practice is a little bit different, but it's highly, highly effective. And I think you see it on Saturdays with how fresh our guys are when they go out there and hit that field. Obviously, being at this level, having all the bells and whistles in the building to get guys and expedite the recovery time from the bruises they had the previous week is extremely important. And we got high level athletes and they need high level attention. And fortunately we got some of the things that can make sure we expedite that process. So it's been fun. You mentioned, John, how much Coach Hypo allows us to empower us more than anything, man. Gris a great man, great head football coach, a great football mind. And when you talk about a mind that is always working and he sees everything, you know what I'm saying? He doesn't let anything slide because he understands how important that those little details are. We always talk about doing small things at extremely high level, and that's really what it's all about. And he stresses that, and our kids buy into that, and that's one reason we've been able to have a lot of success.
He's Tennessee running backs coach Jerry Mack. I am Football Scoops John Brice here on the Our Coaching Network podcast. Jerry, you referenced this week. It's one of the biggest weeks in all of college football. It's synonymous in SEC football, the third Saturday in October, Tennessee at Alabama. You were part of that breakthrough win for the Vols last year in Knoxville, 52-49. What's the energy? What's the level like this week? And how much, with you being a Tennessee native who grew up very familiar with the Alabama and Tennessee programs, among others, how much do you relish the opportunity of this week?
Well, I think every week in this league is a battle. I relish every opportunity. I'm extremely blessed to be here and coach at a place like this, and especially with the people that are here right now. But every week in the SEC is a battle, and quite honestly, last year's game has nothing to do with this year's game. Two totally different teams, as you can probably see, not only on paper, but I guess if you had a chance to watch us or Alabama play, as we've studied them throughout the week, they're just different, just like we're different. And the devils are in the details, and that's the great thing about Saturday. Get a chance to go out there, get a chance to have a lot of fun, be aggressive. Our guys get a chance to be intense and just revel in playing in a setting like that, like a lot of the SEC games are. But obviously, this tradition and the rivalry, the fans are going to be fired up. The media is going to be all over it, like as they should be, because it's two really, really high-powered blue blood football teams. Get a chance to hit the field and go against one another.
Wrapping it up here, only a couple more questions. These are a little bit more fun. You referenced early in our visit tonight, Jerry, about all the moves you've made in your career. You can't have that many moves without having some sort of funny or tragic or hilarious moving story. So what is your best moving story from this long career that you've already had?
Oh my God. I don't even want to discuss that, but I give you a little bit, John. So, finally got everything moved out of Houston, Texas this past summer. I've been here for a few years. So we finally got everything moved out of the place. So had a chance to go back. And I don't like to keep anything. If it's not important, if I haven't used it in the last couple of years, I like to throw it away. Well, my wife doesn't quite feel the same way. So, we went back and forth about what to throw away, what not to throw away, and we end up having to get a storage. So we end up getting a storage to put things that she still wants there. In the process of getting the storage, we leave the house and we come back and a lot of our stuff is gone. So we have no clue where the stuff is. We call the police department, and then we go across the street and we asked the neighbors, have they seen anybody go in? And apparently the neighbors had went in there and they thought we were gone for good, and they took some of the things that were still left in the house.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, that was totally absurd, but they did it. They went in there and they ended up giving all our stuff back. But just the point to go in someone's house that you think is gone and go search for things. It was the craziest thing that we've ever seen. We had to tell the police to go home and all that good stuff.
When they make the Jerry Mack movie or you write your bio, that's got to be a full chapter in there. All right, last two here. If you weren't coaching football, Jerry, what would you be doing?
Man, so I guess, to be honest with you, before I got into coaching, I really thought when I first started, I was going to end up going back to Memphis, Tennessee, being been a coach for a little while at Whitehaven, and then probably moving on to administration.
Okay.
So that is probably what I would end up doing. I would have still been around young people. I would have still been trying to impact lives. It just would have been in a different fashion. That's all. I've grown over the years, and I see like no matter what it was going to be developing people, giving great advice, uplifting people. Like that's just my thing.
Oh, you reference it, and already my respect for the Haven. So shout out for that. Last one here, and we talked about it earlier. You've already been a head coach. You've been, frankly, a record-setting head coach at North Carolina Central. You've continued to grow your career after that. How much better are you as a coach? How much more developed are you as a coach? And what's out there for you? Because I think it's inevitable that you're a head coach again.
Yeah, I just take it day by day, John. I enjoy coming in this building every day, working with the people, learning new schemes, learning new things, attacking different people, and then playing in the SEC on Saturdays. I mean, it doesn't really get any better than this in college football, to be honest with you, Saturdays in this league. But just continue to learn, continue to grow. I really feel like whatever God has for me, it's going to come. I don't want anything that God doesn't have for me, because when you start doing those things, it doesn't ever work out in your favor. So, my thing is to be the best running back coach in the country and the best running back coach I can for my players and in this program right now, right here.
Well, the stats are backing up that you're doing just that. He is Jerry Mack, running backs coach at the University of Tennessee, head of the Big Mac attack, Big Orange rushing attack, averaging about 232 yards per game, headed into Tuscaloosa, Alabama this Saturday for the annual Tennessee-Alabama Showdown. Jerry has mentioned we've been working on this for a few weeks. I cannot thank you enough. We cannot thank you enough for our coaching network for joining us on the podcast.
No, I appreciate you a ton, John. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Good luck this weekend. Thanks a lot, Coach.